All right, great.
Hey, friends, I have a treat for you here today. I'm with Eden Sher, and she'll be in town this weekend, Saturday, the 24th, in the Wyly Studio Theater for her one-woman show. I was on a sitcom. Eden, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but your one-person show, Eden Share, I was on a sitcom, is at least peripherally um, based somewhat on the decade you spent on a sitcom, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Or,
Yes. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like based on that. It is it's the like groundwork for the whole show. It's about like my journey. It's honestly, it actually like takes place. The story, it's kind of one, I don't want to say one cohesive story, but it really like takes place. The setting of it is after the middle. It's talking about my
right.
experience afterwards. But so it's not really a show about talking like about the nitty gritty of like being on a sitcom. It's more like this is the experience of what it's like having been on a sitcom for, almost a decade. And then here's how my life is after.
Right.
I talk a lot about yeah, it's kind of one story about my kids like being pregnant and my honestly more like my children's like my labor and delivery,
Right.
which
Yes. I've,
sounds like how is that related at
yeah.
all?
Yeah.
But I promise you, it is.
It all comes full circle. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I read had a lot of really glowing reviews from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Where is that where you debuted it? Is that the first place?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
It is the first place. Yeah.
yeah,
I
and a lot of the reviews said about like um, making what could be dark and is definitely deeply personal, like abundantly charming and wringing laughs out of every word while you're talking about something that is deeply personal and frightening, in many ways. So if you can talk about how you go about doing something like that.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't want to say I don't know how I did it or how I do it, but it is, I think I just like stayed very true to my like energy, to the way I wanted to present the information, which was not I feel very much on the other side of it emotionally. And so now I can look at it, my whole experience as a whole, and see it for what it was, which was insane. And so I hope that's what I remember. I was emailing with Marissa. I was emailing with the coordinator for the show to
Yeah,
try, she
Marissa.
was asking like, is there any, like content warnings or whatever? And some of my content warnings sounded so grim. They were
Right.
so bleak. I had to be like, I
Tell
promise
us,
it's a
tell us your
promise.
content warnings.
Oh, well, I talk about I premature delivery.
Ding.
Uh, yeah. A lot of depression.
Uh-huh, ding.
I don't know if that's like a real warning, but I don't know if it's
Whoa.
I don't know,
For
but I
some
talk
people.
about, yeah, go really into detail of postpartum depression. And yeah, I go into great detail about my very, very premature delivery and my children's time in the hospital, which was very scary. But again, it was just I I hope that people ultimately do walk away laughing the
Mhm.
majority of the time. Because it's so I can laugh at it now. It's I
At
don't
the
want to.
time, at the time, it wasn't that funny.
At the time, it was not that
In
funny. No,
hindsight, right? Yeah.
no, no, no. The first, no, no, no. Yeah, that the
Now,
year
now
and a
what
half I really focused
what
on
made
was
you think? So, what made you think that this is a one woman show? This is a one person show. This is something I want to turn into a show and perform it by myself on stage. And if you could then get into talking about what it's like to perform on stage by yourself for an hour or more, just you out there.
I feel like I want to start with that just because that
Okay.
is the more it's just like the direct question of what is it like at the beginning? Terrifying.
I can imagine.
It's so different from anything film or TV. There are no cuts. You can't cut. You can't mess up. It's just you. There's no one to bounce off of. There's no one. It's just you on stage for an hour. That's it. I did this. I didn't think at the beginning, this is the story, this specifically is the story that I want to tell, and I want to tell it just me. I more was like, I have so much to say. I have so much to say. And honestly, in my little, like, when I first started writing it, my, like, I call it my brain vomit document of just like, blah, nothing. There's there's so much else that I talk about, so many different aspects of my life, how it relates to TV. I went into real detail about, my experience on the middle. And then I had this other section where I talk about post the middle. And my friend, actually my husband's writing partner, who really was the one, her name is Angela Beavers. She's the one who really encouraged me, forced me to do this. Because she had her own one person show, and she was like, listen, everyone has a million one person shows in them. Pick one. Pick one for this one.
That's
And
good
so
advice.
it's good advice because you do.
Yeah.
And so I ended up just focusing on, I was like, this is what I really want to tell right now in this moment in my life. And so I focused on the central story, and then I went outwards. So yeah, that's how I worked backwards from there. And then I just worked relentlessly for 3 months,
Mhm.
2 months with my directors, who are Charlie McDermott and Sarah Rajai. And Charlie played Axel on the show.
Oh, nice. Very
He's one of
good.
my best friends still.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
there's
hilarious.
no one else who is more acutely
Awesome.
aware of
Did,
the
did you have theater experience before you spent a decade on TV?
enough that it, like, I wouldn't know nothing professional, no professional theater experience. I of course, like all, I think, theater kids, like I did, drama. I did musicals and theater in school. So I had enough of a grasp of what it wasn't like it was the first time I stood on stage live in front of an audience, but I had never done like a professional production. And I'd certainly never done anything where, again, it was just me,
Right.
just me for an hour.
How was that first time going on stage with an audience? Was it in Scotland the first time that you,
No,
so you had a little preview? Okay.
I did previews in LA, and it was terrifying. It
Yeah.
really was. Luckily, I tested it a lot with different sample audiences. I did like a workshop with like 20 people. They were all people, it was like my friends and family.
Right.
And so I do think I eased into it in a good way though. Like, and then after that, I workshopped it just like kind of one-on-one with a lot of people. And so I just got used to doing it in front of people who had never seen it before to get their genuine reactions. And then, yeah, and then the first time I did it in front of like, it's like 65 people or something, but it was like, these are strangers. These are strangers. This is it. It was, I literally, I remember a big part of the show is planning my water breaks. And I
Okay.
sort of use them, like, they're not, it's not a bit, but like I use, it's a little to punctuate, give myself breaks because my
Mhm.
energy is very high.
Yeah.
And so like give myself breaks, like, just I need water. But originally, the reason why the water breaks are so frequent was because my mouth would get so dry from
Yeah.
being so nervous.
Uh-huh.
And now I forgot that that was even like, now if I skip a water break, it's like, it's fine. Like I don't need it in
Right.
the same
Right.
way. But I always had, I always had to go to the bathroom a million times beforehand. I would just like, it would all empty out of me, and then my mouth would get dry. And then I
Nice.
eventually, yeah, now I'm very, I'm, I'm super comfortable. I am
Yeah, you're a
actually,
pro. Yeah, it's what you do. Yeah. That's awesome.
and And honestly, I think anyone, if you are financially able to do it, have a one, if you have a solo show of any kind, or I mean, like any play, I went into Edinburgh with what I thought was a finished product.
Mhm.
There, every single, no matter what your show is, if you are doing it every single night for a month, it's a workshop. It
Yeah.
just is. And it's boot camp. It is like acting boot camp. It is performance boot camp. And so like, I don't think I was definitely comfortable, way more comfortable by the time I got there, but it felt like a completely different show by the time it ended.
Wow. That's great. Now, so now you're touring a little bit with, right? Now you're in Dallas. Are you doing other dates around us?
Yeah, I sort of. I'm doing three in Texas. I'm
Uh-huh.
doing yeah, I'm doing Dallas first, and then the next weekend I'm doing Austin and Houston.
Great.
Houston is sold out,
Uh-huh.
but Austin is not sold out. And
Yeah.
actually, Dallas, we added more tickets. So Dallas
Yeah.
is not even completely sold out. There
I
aren't that
saw
many.
you sold out and then we made the room bigger,
Yes,
which
yes,
is
exactly.
that's always good news. That's a good problem to have. That's great. So what is next for, I guess, the show? Is there like a plan going forward, or are you just enjoying doing it? Uh, and then for you, what's next?
Right now, I'm sort of uh to be fully transparent,
Love it.
Edinburgh is so expensive. And
Okay.
I really would like to expand. I would love to just like get my, I want the more people, the better to
Uh-huh.
see my show. But the truth is like, I'm touring for like financial reasons.
Right. To make some
I
of that
want
money
to like,
back. Yeah.
yeah, I want to make some money back.
Right.
And it's just sort of a win-win. I get more time. I get more time just like with the show. And I get like a period, like a 6 month period to really like ruminate in it. And
Mhm.
especially because like even though Scotland is different audiences every night, I think going to actually like completely different parts of
Right.
the country and getting people's different reactions and
Mhm.
like able to really work with a much larger audience, I
Right.
think it's gonna give me like the clarity of what I want to do with it next, whether it be just like film it as a special, release it as a special,
Yeah.
adapt it into I don't know if you can hear my kids
Mhm.
are calling after me.
There's a
But
microwave in the background for me, so that's okay.
oh, mhm. But oh my God, if they can open it, I
So
know I'm gonna be out in a second.
just a minute,
Um,
just a minute.
yeah, just a
You can go
minute.
whenever you want.
Yes, we'll do a few more minutes. Let's get a few more in, and then they'll be fine. I'll go. I'll hug them in a second.
Yeah,
Um,
mommy's sorry.
yeah, but I don't remember what I was saying. Yes, whether or adapted into a little movie or something, I think this is already just doing the shows that I've done has given me a lot more clarity for like what. So yeah, I don't know. I think adapted into something,
Mhm.
definitely film it in some capacity, release it, and then I don't know. Honestly, like I want to. Obviously, I want to continue in TV and film, but the truth is, it is exhilarating. It is exhilarating being on stage,
Yeah,
even when it's a bad performance.
right.
And on it, like, again, boot camp in Edinburgh.
Huh.
You saw it. I got great reviews. I sold out the whole show. For the most part, people seem to really respond well to it. People like it. But no, there were some nights I bombed.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. And it
I
depends.
bombed. There were crickets at jokes. Yeah. And so I don't remember what the point of me saying that
Well,
was, but
there's
yeah.
a tightrope thing that you are doing with this, putting yourself out there emotionally without a net, putting yourself out there as a performer without a net. It's really quite an adventure that you've undertaken, and just hats off to you for having the courage to jump out there and do it. So I think it's pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
great. That's what was my point of it. That
Oh, good.
yeah, having
I
the
did it.
exhilarating. I guess you truly did. The exhilarating aspect of it, even when it's a bad show,
Oh,
is like it kind of makes me like in terms of next steps. I would like to write another show.
yeah.
I want to, and I know so much more. It was such a like a steep learning curve that
Uh-huh.
now that I have the framework for how to tell my story, how to tell any story in a
Right.
like a good, entertaining way, it yeah, it's very rewarding. And so
Well,
yeah.
that's great. Well, I cannot wait to see it. And again, folks, Eden Sher, I was on a sitcom. Go to attpac.org if you haven't gotten your tickets yet. There are a few. We added some seats, so there are, I think, still, depending as we get closer, there may not be, but right now there are. And then Austin, if you're in Austin, our friends over there, and you're watching this, get your tickets to see Eden. Thank you, Eden. I'm so happy you talked to me. And good luck on everything with the show and everything else.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was such a lovely conversation.